Well, one lady who is not a stranger at all to Fashion Weeks is the wonderful Annah Stretton joining me now. Welcome, Anna. You're looking there smiling.
I know. It was great
what
to actually get
being a designer, though.
Well, I was kind of thinking I'm glad it's not so... Well, we're warm, although it's going to be, what, 30 degrees today?
I know, so 30 degrees.
Yeah, but at least we don't have to wear the fur. Although it's a little chilly in here. So
I know. Well,
yeah, it's just...
conditioning.
And
joining you is the wonderful Gina Guthrie from part of your team, Raw. Yeah. And you can check out raw.org.nz to see all the details, incredible things that they do. Reclaiming another woman.
Well, I don't know if it's kind of true to its namesake now, but it did start because we've got men involved in the model. But Reclaim Another Woman, the elevator speech. This is the kind of the pitch that I give if I ran into Richard Branson in the elevator. So you only kind of get the few floors that you're going to travel. Essentially, what we are doing is working in the women's prison at the moment, working with the country's most recidivists. So they're the most repeat. So they're women that have been in jail for a good part of their life, and certainly they're not at the moment. They're relatively invisible to the system, so there's certainly not a pathway for them once they exit prison. So we're working there, my sister and myself, setting up relationships, taking them on exit to the Hamilton area, where we home them in Waikato incubation homes. So national model, but we're rehoming them back in the Waikato, away from the distraction that would be their normal life on exit. Distraction or chaos, and taking them through a program of education that I navigate for them. So you know, all I see is capability that's akin to the journey I've taken. So we've now got 4 girls that are starting degrees this year up at the Waikato University. The rest of them are at the Polytech doing a mix of hairdressing, horticulture, cooking.
But education?
That's a non-negotiable. If you come to Raw, it is about education, because that's the game changer. Education will change the outcomes. So it's a supported living initially, because we are and support 100% the incubation homes. But you know, we're working with a demographic that nobody knew how to turn around, nobody knew how to reintegrate. It's new thinking on a massive social problem that we've got. Well,
Gina, for you're working within the team. Trust must be a big thing, because some of those girls, you know, they could say, like, how would you know? You don't know what it's like living in my world. You have no idea what I saw and why I chose to go down that path. You've got to break through that, though, don't you?
You do have to, and it's really hard to trust, because probably from a lot of the women for many years they've been let down, been abused generally, so it's really hard to trust. So it's just about sitting with it, sitting through it and believing.
And listening, I guess.
And listening,
the listening skills must be essential.
You know, it takes time. It takes a lot of time, because we're polar opposite worlds. You know, I've never been in Gina's world. Gina's probably never been in my world. I mean, and so therefore I'm asking her to make a seismic jump. And it's not only her trusting. We've both got to trust. We've both got to trust that we can get there, and we've both got to accept that it's going to go like this, the journey. You know, I mean, Gina's normal is very different to what I'm now asking her to look at. I mean, I'm asking her to live a legal life. I'm asking her to live a life of capability and success. I'm asking her to dream big. I'm asking her to dare to believe that she can be incredibly capable and make a real contribution to the social change that we all need, because these guys will be the game changers, not me, in the end. These guys will actually get the change this country wants, get the social and the fiscal change, because there's a big cost attached to these women and the repeat activity.
You know what? I think you know better than anyone. But it's not all down to the clothing or that, but it certainly is a big boost, isn't it, Gina, to how you feel about yourself, that the chin is up. Yeah. You're actually looking across and up rather than down.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for you, what was your journey when you came? You're part of the team now, which is fortunate to Anna, her sister, but how did you get to Raw?
Being in jail.
That's how I got
locked
there.
Up is probably
and knowing that there was nothing really upon release, because it was in my second sentence, so I chose Raw because I knew.
Not just one, you went again, love.
I think recidivist is a term that's bandied around by corrections, and it's certainly one that I've learned to sort of slip off the tongue often. But the reality of a recidivist, you know, a girl that's in a pattern of recidivist behaviour, is that she's possibly been in and out of jail most of her life. So Gina had spent 8 years of her life in jail, and she was on her second sentence. So, and highly likely to continue in that pattern, based on no other opportunity or outcome. The stain of prison is massive, and you know the delightful surprises, the capability that's in our country's prisons needs to be unlocked. You know, I mean, instead
Absolutely.
of you know, and so from my point of view, if you think there's 41,000 people that are shrouded in the correction system at the moment, either going to prison, exiting as part of the probation service, almost 10,000 are locked up. You know, 9,000 of those are men. It's a massive problem, and that's why we've also extended from the women into the men as well. So.
And it's not going to change, Gina, without firm action, is it?
No, the thing is,
tough love, skin in the game. You know, skin in the game. You know, these guys have got to want this as well.
Exactly. And Gina, for you, I mean, okay, you were in there twice. Didn't learn the first time around, did you?
Well, I kind of
Well,
did,
don't
but
though,
nobody.
do they?
Well, you don't. And then when you try to do something different, society won't allow you to. No one wants to employ you. It's hard to find a house that anyone will want to rent to you. So you kind of like get into yourself into a position where, yeah.
What an incredible depth of empathy you must give. Because there's one thing, I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to help an organisation, don't they, volunteer and that, but to actually have lived and breathed what they're doing is quite a phenomenal tool to have, Anna, in your armoury, having Gina.
Oh, Gina there, yeah. I mean, I don't know what we'd do without Gina. I mean, you know, we've got a girl exiting today and I've got her down here, which is, you know, that's to the detriment of the model, because the connection that she has and the ability that she has to reintegrate them. And, you know, it's a big thing when you've been in prison 9 or 10 years and you're suddenly, boom, out back in mainstream. And, you know, I mean, the guy that we had exit on Monday, you know, as he said, he was walking down the street and everyone's like this on these objects, you know, like because he's missed the digital phone thing.
True.
You know, I mean,
So
when
true.
you're locked up in a cell, I mean, so he said just walking into a magazine store and just the sense of everything around him, you know, the colour, the light, the smells, you forget about that because that's how we live. But, you know, shouldn't we embrace life like that too?
Oh my
you know,
goodness,
we
but we
kind of
remind
forget.
ourselves sometimes, and I think. Hey,
So-
congratulations to you both. Thank you so much. See this energy? You can actually harness a little bit tonight at St Margaret's. Just contact the school for more details. But well done. Especially to you, Gina, incredible. Well done. Keep being strong, kia kaha. And thanks. Love you singing again. And got to say, don't you love her here?
No.
Just loving it.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's all good.